$1 trillion tickers, y'all. The earnings floodgates have opened. United Health is in a free fall, down over 10% in the pre-market after a 2026 revenue warning. Boeing just dropped a monster beat. We also had UPS and General Motors report earnings. I've been digging through the filings and the data since the sun went down. I look up the breaking news so you don't have to. Just tune in, lean back. I got you. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you're tuning in from around the globe. I'm your host, Matt Riches. Welcome to the $1 Trillion Tickers broadcast. Welcome to the family. We don't just watch the market, we master the machine to build wealth that lasts for generations. If you're ready to navigate this earnings storm, drop $1 trillion in the comments right now. I deserve to be healthy. I deserve to be happy. I deserve the wealth that I am building for me and my family. Riches and freedom, they come to our hands. I am the master of all I command. My learning is limitless. My earnings are too. The more I discover, the more I can do. The stock market is a machine of design, and I have the power to make that wealth mine. I am capable, I am skilled, I am bold. Blessings on the journey as the vision unfolds. So today we're going to check out some earnings. We're going to prepare for consumer confidence at 7 a.m. I'm going to give you a lesson from Robert Greene, the daily laws. All right, let's check out some of these pre-market earnings. So far we had Boeing. Look at this. Boeing. They had a unbelievable earnings. It says it's up over 2,300%, y'all. What? And they beat on the bottom too. But it's still down. It's still down in the pre-market, even though they beat. All right, United Health, y'all. UNH. UNH is down crazy. It's actually in the gap. As you can see, when the market closed, it closed at 351 and it's currently at 294. And it's in the gap, y'all. United Health. So it actually beat on earnings, but it missed on revenue by over 633 million. All right, let's check out UPS. UPS. Wow, UPS going crazy in the pre-market. So it ran up. So yesterday it closed at 106. After earnings, it ran up to 111, and it has since pulled back. Let's see. They beat on the top and the bottom. They beat earnings by 8%. They beat on revenue by 2%. That's UPS, y'all. Next, we got General Motors. So all these happen in the pre-market. So check it out. General Motors. They beat on earnings by 10%. And they missed on revenue by 2%. They missed by almost $1 billion. All right, but they up. They up in the pre-market, y'all. As you see right here, they closed at $79.54. And in the pre-market, it's trading at $84. And then we got one more that had earnings. Pre-market, Northrop Grumman. NOC is the ticker. As you can see here, it closed at 660. And it dropped in the pre-market. It dropped all the way down to 635. And now it's currently at 649. All right, so that's all the tickers we had in the pre-market, y'all. All right, so next part of the show is the book from Robert Greene called The Daily Law. And it says, the real secret is that mastery is attainable for anyone. It requires effort and introspection. You have to be willing to look at your mistakes on the charts, own them, and learn from them. Stop looking for the easy button. There are no shortcuts to the $1 trillion life. Build the mind and the money will flow. All right, so that's our daily law from Robert Greene. All right, let's check out the $1 trillion tickers, y'all. Let's check out the market cap of our $1 trillion tickers. Number one, the most valuable company in the world, we have NVIDIA, 4.5 trillion. Followed by Google, 4 trillion. Followed by Apple, 3.77 trillion. Microsoft, 3.4 trillion. Number one. Amazon, 2.54 trillion. TSM, 1.72 trillion. Meta, 1.69 trillion. AVGO, 1.54 trillion. Tesla, 1.44 trillion. And last but not least, Berkshire.B, 1.04 trillion. Those are all the $1 trillion tickers on the market, y'all. All right, let's check out some of these pre-market levels. Pre-market low, we got NVIDIA, pre-market low, 187.03. Pre-market high, 187.96. Google, pre-market low, 334.83. Pre-market high, 383.29. Google looking pretty strong in the pre-market. Apple, pre-market low, 255.99. Pre-market high, 259.80. Apple also looking strong in the pre-market. Microsoft, pre-market low, 432.09. Pre-market high, 475.03. Amazon, pre-market low, 239.23. Pre-market high, 240.85. TSM, pre-market low, 336. Pre-market high, 339.62. TSM gapped up very nicely overnight. AVGO, pre-market low, 327.65. Pre-market high, 330.46. As you can see, AVGO is in the gap. It's been in the gap for the past couple of days. It did not fill the gap completely. It did go halfway, a little bit under halfway in the gap, and now it is headed back up, y'all. So it looks like this gap may not be filled this week. We'll see. We got a lot of earnings tomorrow. We got 3 of the 4 big tech earnings of this week coming out tomorrow in the aftermarket close, y'all. All right, Meta in the pre-market low, 672.78. Pre-market high, 675.64. Tesla, pre-market low, 436.59. Pre-market high, 438.41. Berkshire.B, pre-market low, 481.58. Pre-market high, 483.10. The VIX is at 1613 right now. SPY gapped up overnight. Pre-market low, 693.90. Pre-market high, 695.08. QQQ, pre-market low, 628.61. Pre-market high, 630.35. QQQ also gapped up overnight. Dow Jones Industrial ETF, pre-market high, 494.04. Pre-market low, 490.38. And this has been being brought down by UNH. We talked about those earnings earlier, how they are way down in the pre-market, and that's what's bringing down the Dow Jones Industrial. All right, SPX, pre-market low, 6,890. Pre-market high, 6,976. The NASDAQ 100, pre-market low, 25,447. Pre-market high, 25,914. The Dow Jones, pre-market high, 49,398. Pre-market low, 49,018. The gold mini in the pre-market is at $100.23, y'all. Gold is now, what has been for the past couple days, trading over $5,000 an ounce, y'all. Gold is trading over $5,000 an ounce. It's currently $5,065 an ounce. And Bitcoin is under 90,000 right now. Bitcoin is at 88,226, y'all. Shout out to everybody on YouTube Live and Instagram Live. Let's see. Let's get into some news right before market open. We got about 3 minutes, y'all. All right. This first piece of knowledge comes from the Wealth Empire on Twitter. 4 types of income: active income, trading time for money, salary, wages, freelancing. Passive income: build it once, it earns income repeatedly. That's rental income, royalties, automated business. Portfolio income: dividends, interest, capital gains, requires capital, grows with the market. And leverage income: using others' time, money, and systems. This is business ownership and investments. Rich people have all 4. Most people only have 1. All right, this next piece of news comes from Yahoo Finance. They are quoting BlackRock CEO Larry Fink. If AI does to white-collar workers what globalization did to blue-collar workers, we need to confront that reality directly. He said, if AI does to white-collar workers, quote-unquote, white people, what it did to blue-collar workers, quote-unquote, non-white people, then we're going to have to confront that reality directly. Interesting, Larry Fink. Interesting that y'all care when it's white collars, but y'all ain't really tripped when it was blue collar. I find that very interesting. All right, next, MU. MU now has a larger market cap than Costco and AMD. Yeah, MU been going crazy. Y'all, let me pull up MU on the chart. MU been going crazy. Check it out. MU is trading at 405 right now, y'all. Ooh. Let's go. Let's go, MU. I think MU hit all-time highs yesterday, too. So did hit all-time highs at 412. All right. Let's see. Carvana. Wait a minute. Market open, market open, market open. Let's go. January 27th, 2026, 6:30 in the morning. The market is open. You know, we in California, we in the Bay Area right now, so it's real early in the morning. Y'all lucky on the East Coast and in Florida, man. Market open at 9:30 in the morning. You get to get your workout in, get you a nice smoothie before you even get on the market. Y'all so lucky. I got to get up early as hell. But it's good, though. We going to make it happen anyway. All right, let's check out our $1 trillion tickers, y'all. NVIDIA barely under break even at 186.42. Google, it's up fractionally at 333.54. Apple is up over 1.5% at 259.75. Microsoft is up almost 1% at 447.49. Amazon is up over 0.25% at 239.24. TSM is up over 1% at 336.49. AVGO is up over 1% at 328.70. Meta is up over 0.25% at 674.52. Tesla is up fractionally at 435.98. Berkshire.B is down fractionally at 482.74. The VIX is at 1614. SPY is up almost 0.25% at 694.18. QQQ is up over 0.5% at 629.19. The DIA is down almost 1% at 490. All right, let's get into some more news, y'all. This quote comes from the 48 Laws of Power. Keys to power. Time is an artificial concept that we ourselves have created to make limitlessness of eternity and the universe more bearable, more human. Since we have constructed the concept of time, we are also able to mold it to some degree, to play tricks with it. The mind of a child is long and slow, with vast expanses. The time of an adult whizzes by frighteningly fast. Time, then, depends on perception, which we know can be willfully altered. This is the first thing to understand in mastering the art of timing. If the inner turmoil caused by our emotions tend to make time move faster, it follows that once we control our emotions, our emotional responses to events, time will move much more slowly. This altered way of dealing with things tends to lengthen our perception of future time, opens up possibilities that fear and anger close off, and allows us the patience that is the principal requirement for the art of timing. That is from Robert Greene, y'all. Next piece of news comes from Trend Spider on Twitter. It said if you put $10,000 into Carvana 3 years ago, when the price was around $5, it was under $5, you'll be sitting on $1 million right now, y'all. Let me check. Almost $1 million. Let me pull up Carvana on the chart, y'all. Carvana, can you believe this? It's trading at $470 a share. So let me go to the yearly chart. Let me see. Yes. 2022 Carvana was trading at $3.55. That was the lowest price, y'all. And right now it's at $4.70. So if you had put 10 racks, if you believed in Carvana, that wasn't easy to do though, because you had seen it run up. You had seen it run up in 2020, 2021. It had ran up to $3.78, but then it fell to $3. So basically, it fell 90%, over 90%. So for you to believe that it was going to run back up would be insane. Like, I don't think nobody made this trade. It's hardly anybody that made this trade. You put $10,000 in at $3 after it fell from damn near $400, and now it's damn near $500. Nah, I don't think nobody made that trade. But if you did, you're a millionaire off $10,000. That's the power of the stock market if you believed it. But I don't think hardly anybody believed it. Nobody caught that. Because you probably thought it was going to go out of business if it was damn near $400 and then it was only $3. All right, next piece of news comes from Yahoo Finance. Tesla removed its autopilot basic self-driving software as a standard feature on the US on the new Model Y and Model 3. Let me pull up Tesla on the chart while we talk about them. This is in the purchases as the company pushes toward its more advanced FSD full self-driving subscriptions. Not only did it do that, it stopped letting people buy it outright, and it just made everybody go to the monthly subscription, which is definitely more beneficial, I think. I think $100 a month for a chauffeur is well worth it. And yeah, man, shout out Tesla. Another piece of news from Elon. This is actually from the Kobayashi letter. It says the EU has opened a formal probe into Elon Musk's XAI over Grok deepfakes. While U.S. tech giants are adding trillions in market cap every year, the EU is probing deepfakes. That's funny. They're saying while the EU is worried about deepfakes, the U.S. tech giants are adding trillions of dollars in market cap. All right, this next piece of news comes from Tom Lee from BitMine. He says BitMine has staked 2 million Ethereum generating an annualized staking reward of 180 million. This is half of the Ethereum that is held by Bitmine. Let's check out Bitmine on the chart right quick. Bitmine is trading at $27 right now. It's definitely been in a downtrend and a consolidation for a while. Ever since it peaked at $42 in December, it's just been to the downside and consolidating. All right, let's check out the Fear and Greed Index. Let's see where we at on the Fear and Greed. The Fear and Greed Index. We are in greed now, y'all. We are in greed. The Fear and Greed Index is at 59. When we first started this show, we were at extreme fear. A couple days ago, we was in neutral, but now we are in greed. I think we might hit all-time highs on the SPY and the Qs this week, y'all. Especially depending on what happens with earnings tomorrow with these 3 big tech earnings. All right, next piece of news comes from Uncle Charles on Twitter. He said, Treasury canceled all 31 contracts due to a former employee leaking tax returns of hundreds of thousands of people, particularly President Trump. They had to cancel them contracts once all their tax returns got leaked, y'all. Shout out everybody on YouTube Live and TikTok Live. Shout out everybody on YouTube Live and Instagram Live, y'all. All right, next. This piece of news comes from the Kobayashi letter. Microsoft announces the launch of its Maya 200 AI chip to reduce reliance on NVIDIA. The chip is being produced by Taiwan Semiconductor and will be launched in the Microsoft data centers in Iowa. All right, let's check out the sectors right quick, y'all. Let's see how the sectors are doing. Let's see where money is flowing into and money is flowing out of, y'all. Our first sector. Let me go on a 1-minute chart so you can really see the movement. XLK is in a gap. Gap to the downside. No, this is not a gap. This is a consolidation. Let me make sure of that. Yep. So as you can see right here, I put this white box on here just to show you that XLK was just chopping, y'all. It was just consolidating. It did previously break out, but it bounced on our trend line, and now it is above our resistance trend line. Let's go. We need XLK to close above this consolidation box and turn this resistance into support, and we can be to the upside and head back to all-time highs, y'all. So XLK is up 0.75% at 147.18, y'all. XLY, consumer discretionary, is down over 0.25% at 121.93. XLC is down over 0.25% at 117.42. That's our consumer our communication sector. Excuse me. Communication sector, y'all. That's funny that I messed up on the communication sector. XLF, y'all. Next one. XLF is down almost 0.5% at 53.18 per share, y'all. XLV, our healthcare sector, is down over 1% at 156.40. XLP, consumer staples, is barely over break even at 82.85. XLE, our energy sector, is looking strong right now so far, is up almost 1% at 49.64. XLU, our utility sector, is up over 0.5% at 43.09. XLI is up 0.25% at 164.82. XLB, our material sector, is up almost 0.25% at 50.13. And XLRE, our real estate sector, is up fractionally at 41.28. I'm going to read some more news. While I read the news, I'm going to organize our 8 chart layout right here. This is a trading view. So I have 8 charts on here. 8 most valuable companies in the world. Top left-hand corner, we have NVIDIA. To the right, we have Google, Apple, Microsoft. Underneath NVIDIA, we have Amazon. To the right, we have TSM, AVGO, and Meta. All right, this next piece of news comes from Unusual Whales. Nancy Pelosi, Congresswoman, trader extraordinaire, investor extraordinaire, disclosed roughly $69 million in new stock transactions, highlighted by $50 million in sales of Apple, y'all. And she sold $5 million worth of NVIDIA and $5 million worth of Disney. She has purchased new Leap options, y'all. You know, when Pelosi purchased these Leaps, she knows she got some insider trader information, y'all. And she purchased $500,000 in Google Leaps, $500,000 in Amazon Leaps, $500,000 in Apple Leaps, and $250,000 in NVIDIA Leaps, y'all. She dropping that bread on big tech. On the hyperscaler, she dropping a bag, y'all. You know, she be making so much money. It's ridiculous, y'all. All right. Our next piece of information coming from Twitter comes from 19 Keys, y'all. Salute 19 Keys. It says, the black men who inspired me this week. Jaylen Brown, I Show Speed, LaRussell, and Ryan Coogler. They all represent high-level culture and high-level futurism. Shout out 19 Keys for that, y'all. Check out High Level Conversations on YouTube. Check out the Man to Man podcast, y'all. Dropping game on there. All right, if you don't know who the PayPal Mafia is, this is a group of people who came together and created PayPal. And they're all highly successful. They're led by Elon Musk, who is the CEO of Tesla, SpaceX, and many other companies. Also, Reid Hoffman, CEO of LinkedIn. Peter Thiel from Palantir. Max Levchin, Russell Simmons, not Russell Simmons from Def Jam, but the white Russell Simmons. Also, Chad Hurley is connected to YouTube, and Luke Nosik. Okay, so Max Levchin is connected to Affirm. Russell Simmons is connected to Yelp. Reid Hoffman connected to LinkedIn. Chad Hurley is connected to YouTube. Peter Thiel is connected to Palantir. And I can't see what company Luke Nosik is connected to, but Google him if you want to find out. All right. Next piece of news comes from Stock Market News on Twitter. JP Morgan raised the price target for Apple to $315, up from $305, while maintaining its overweight rating. KeyBank today raised its price target on Google to $360, up from $330, while maintaining its overweight rating. KeyBank raised its price target on Meta Platforms to $875, up from $835, while maintaining its overweight rating. That's big paper, y'all. That's big paper. That's big tech, too. That's big tech. All right, let's see. Next piece of news. Mark Zuckerberg and Meta Platforms has reportedly committed to paying Corning. Let's look them up right quick on the chart. GLW. Let's see. Let's check out the daily. Ooh, that thing gapped up crazy on that news. Or is that earnings? Nah, they don't got earnings until tomorrow. But news came out that they partner with Meta, and that thing gapped up crazy. You see the power of partnership, y'all. The power of partnership. That thing gapped up. Let's see how much it gapped up. From yesterday's close, it gapped up 9%, y'all. 9%. That's good paper. That's good paper, y'all. That thing that gapped up. So it says, so the deal is for Meta to pay $6 billion through 2030 for fiber optic cable in its AI data centers. All right, next. Let me put the other 8 companies back on here. Salesforce CRM has been awarded a 9-year contract to provide services to the U.S. Army. Let's put Salesforce on the chart so we can see what happened. So they did not gap up based on this news. They're actually down for today. Just fractionally, just barely though. All right, so Salesforce Unit Computable Insights has been awarded a 9-year contract to provide services to the U.S. Army. This news is brought to you by the Department of War. It was awarded a firm fixed price contract worth $5.64 billion to establish a decentralized enterprise agreement for Salesforce products and outcome-based services. Next piece of news is from the Financial Times on Twitter. The EU and India have sealed a trade deal, y'all. This happened today. Eliminating or reducing tariffs on up to 96% of EU goods exports to India, projected to save $4 billion annually and double EU shipments by 2032. This deal covers key sectors like chemicals, pharmaceuticals, plastics, some agriculture, forging a combined market of 2 billion people and nearly a quarter of global GDP, while serving as a strategic EU response to the U.S. protectionism under Trump. All right. Next piece of news. Amazon Web Services has been awarded a $581 million firm fixed price contract to support the U.S. Air Force's Cloud One program, according to the Department of War. All right, this next piece of news comes from Wall Street Journal Business News. Restaurant franchisor FAT Brands files for bankruptcy. They own companies like Roundtable. Give me 1 second, y'all. Oh, we got an alert. We got an alert on SPX, y'all. We got a buy alert on the Level Up Algo. That's good. Price is moving to the upside, y'all. We like that. See if we get all-time highs this week. All right, so this next piece of news. So the news about the restaurant franchisor, we'll have to go back to that because AI is tripping right now. All right, next, unusual whales. This is also from the Financial Times. People convicted of fraud and white-collar crime account for 10 of the 21 clemency grants from President Trump issued over the past 10 years, y'all. So if you want to be granted clemency from Trump, you have a 50% chance if you are convicted of a white collar crime, y'all. All right. This next piece of news comes from Walter Bloomberg on Twitter. Trump said, "Big Armada is going to Iran. Hope we don't have to use it." Damn, Trump talking big stuff, y'all. All right. Trump's statement in an interview yesterday highlights the U.S. deployment of the USS Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group to the Middle East, positioning a major naval force near Iran as a show of strength amid rising tensions from Iranian proxy threats. The Armada reference echoes Trump's 2019 Venezuela strategy, signaling deterrence rather than immediate aggression. With Trump noting Iran's leadership appears open to negotiations to avoid escalation. Global media coverage, including Al Jazeera and Reuters, frames this as a part of a rhetorical standoff where U.S. military buildup coincides with Iran's vow of forceful response, raising fears of broader regional conflict despite diplomatic overtures. All right, let's check out some more stocks we like to check out on our show. Let's see, what else we got? Oh, that's the wrong list. Here we go. AMD. AMD is up over 0.75% at 253.25. Bitcoin is down to 87,600. IBIT is up fractionally at $49.71. Ethereum is down 2,915, y'all. BMNR is up over 50%, over 0.5% at $28. Palantir is down over 0.25% at 166.90. Robinhood is up almost 2% at 108.90. Grab is up almost 4% at 474. And XLG is up over 0.25% at 59.22, y'all. Next piece of news comes from Robinhood. Robinhood and 23XI Racing are back. I think Robinhood will be sponsoring some races, y'all. Let's see. All right, AI is tripping on that. AI tripping. Twitter AI is tripping this morning, y'all. All right, here we go. Let's see. Maybe it's just tripping on certain tweets. All right, let's check out the unusual whales. They said the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, is preparing for the possibility of a rapid sell-off of U.S. dollar denominated assets. The IMF, led by Managing Director Kristalina Georgieva, is modeling scenarios for a potential rapid sell-off of U.S. dollar assets, driven by investor concerns over U.S. policies, including tariffs and Federal Reserve independence attacks since President Trump's inauguration in 2025. This preparation comes amid a 9% dollar decline against major currencies and a drop in its global reserve share from 72% in 2021 to under 57% today, accelerated by BRICS, de-dollarization efforts, and gold prices hitting a record 5,100 per ounce. She suggests the EU issue more common debt as a safe haven alternative to bolster economic growth. Though she notes the dollar's dominance persists due to the U.S. economy size and market liquidity. All right. Let me run these prices one more time, y'all, from the $1 trillion tickers. NVIDIA, it's up 0.5% at 187. Google is up almost 1.25% at 337. Apple is up 2.5%, y'all. Apple is up to 261. Microsoft is up 1.5% at 477. Amazon is up over 0.25% at 239. TSM is up 1.25% at 337. AVGO is up almost 2% at 330. Meta is down fractionally at 671.94. Tesla is down barely under break even at 434. Berkshire.B is dropping, y'all, almost down 0.75% at 480. The VIX is under 16, y'all. The VIX is at 1594. SPY is up over 0.25% at 695.20. QQQ is up almost 1% at 630.50. The Dow Jones ETF is down almost 1% at 490. SPX is up almost 0.5% at 6,975. The NASDAQ 100 is up 0.75% at 25,919. The Dow Jones is at 49,000, y'all. The gold mini is at $100.09. Gold is at $5,055 per ounce, y'all. Bitcoin is at 87,000. Let's check out some of our other ETFs we like to check out on the show. IWM, that's the Russell 2000, is down over 0.25% at 263, y'all. SPYM is up over 0.25% at 81.81. QQQM is up almost 1% at 259.64. SPYG is up almost 1% at 108.57. SOXQ is up 2.25% at 63.78. TQQQ is up almost 2.5% at 56.41. SOXL is up 6.66%, y'all, at $64.72. SOXX is up 2.25% at 351, y'all. SMH is up almost 2% at 406.51. XLG is up almost 0.5% at 59.24. The IVES 30 is up 1.25% at 33.20. SPYI is up 0.25% at 52.86. QQQI, it is out of the gap. It looks like it bounced on the gap this morning, and it is headed to the upside. I think tomorrow, if we have good earnings, this thing can be at $55 and I can go ahead and sell it. But, I've been holding this thing since last month, y'all. I did collect 2 dividends, though. But I did not expect to be holding it for this long. But I did get 2 dividends, so I'll take it. All right, next piece of news comes from Stock Market News on Twitter. United Airlines, UAL. Let's put it on the chart while we talk about it. United Airlines announces a major expansion at Chicago O'Hare amid hot demand. They said it's so busy over there. We need to expand our gates, United Airlines says in Chicago O'Hare. All right, next. HSBC urges investors to remain aggressively risk on, staying overweight equities, high yield credit, emerging market debt, and gold, while underweighting sovereign bonds, investment grade credit, and oil. The bank says markets are driven by U.S. rates and growth, not geopolitics, and sees earnings expectations as too low. It recommends rotating from rate sensitive high beta stocks back to mega cap tech, y'all. Hey, I like that. You know I'm a big tech bull, so I love hearing that. I love hearing that news. All right. HSBC expects rate volatility to stay contained, supporting risk assets, especially U.S. stocks, Japan, Eurozone banks, and emerging markets. I got a quick clip from Reuters. France's National Assembly approved a bill, y'all.
Here are the results. 157 votes cast, 151 valid votes, majority 76, in favour 130, against 21 abstentions. The National Assembly has adopted the text.
So they said France's National Assembly approved a bill to ban children under 15 years old from using social media. They said it has become too detrimental to their health. And there's been bullying going on. Their mental health is messed up. So now the bill moves to the Senate. We'll have to check back on that later and see if it gets passed through their Senate. They say younger than 15, man. You ain't going to be able to use this. They going to be pissed off. Them kids ain't going to be able to use TikTok and Instagram and Snapchat. They going to be pissed off, boy. All right, this next piece of news comes from Wall Street Journal Business News. Pinterest to lay off up to 15% of the workforce while they do restructuring, y'all. 15%. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people, y'all. All right. So I thought this was interesting. This is BlackRock posted this on Twitter. Sandra Lawson, author of On the Record, examines how today's massive infrastructure boom will require investment not only in capital, but also in the jobs that are needed to make the build out possible. I'm going to play this clip, y'all.
The world is entering what could be the greatest period of construction in all of human history, investing as much as $85 trillion in infrastructure over the next 15 years. To do this, we need to modernize the old and construct the new simultaneously. The AI era is driving rapid demand for data centers and the energy needed to power them. But that's not all. Power grids, ports, pipelines, so many were built in the mid-20th century, and today they're reaching the end of their useful lives. At the same time, fast-growing cities and emerging economies need a lot of infrastructure: energy, transportation, telecoms. And the world economy is changing so quickly. This means that companies need to rethink their supply chains to create new capacity that's closer to their consumers. Infrastructure isn't abstract. It's the world around us, the systems that move people, that enable business, and that improve everyday life. Investing in infrastructure generates an outsized economic impact by encouraging a wider and freer exchange of goods and people and ideas all around the world. But we can't build this physical capital without human capital. We need skilled workers to design and construct and maintain these systems. We need electricians, HVAC technicians, welders, carpenters, many others, and lots of them. In the U.S., the Labor Department projects that employment in these jobs will grow by more than 5% over the next decade. And this is much faster than the 3% nationally.
So skilled trade jobs are projected to grow faster than the national average, y'all. So we don't need to go to college. Just get you a skilled trade. It costs way less. And start building these data centers. Because you know we ain't going to stop building them. Because we trying to be the leaders in AI, y'all. All right. Let me run these numbers. Let me run these numbers one more time before we end the show. We got a few more minutes before we end the show. All right, NVIDIA, it's up 0.75% at 188. Google is up 1% at 336. Apple is up 2.25% at 261. Microsoft is up 1.5% at 478. Amazon is up 0.5% at 239. TSM is up almost 1% at 335. AVGO is up 1.75% at 330.50. Meta is down almost 1% at 667. Tesla is at break even at 435. And Berkshire.B is down 0.75% at 479.70. Let's check out the heat map. Check out the heat map, y'all. All right. I see a lot of green in tech. Not this section of tech, but electronic technology. I see a lot more green. Technology services. I see a lot more red. Oracle's down almost 3.5%. Intuit is down almost 3.5%. ServiceNow is down almost 3%. They getting clapped. Netflix is down 1.5%. AppLovin is up almost 3.5%. Let's see. All right, let me run these sectors one more time. All right, so the leading sector for today is technology. It's up almost 1.5%, y'all. And the laggard for today is healthcare, down almost 1.5%. All right, so before we leave, this is a new video I created. So basically, I am breaking ground with this idea that I have. And I think a lot of rich people are going to copy me. But hey, you heard it here first. So what I did was I put my song into AI and I had AI create a mini podcast to explain my song. So my song is called Don't Doubt Small Starts. And this video is already on my YouTube channel, so you can check it out. I dropped it a few days ago. So I'm just going to play the beginning of it. And I guarantee that people, famous, are going to put this on our album. But I did it first. Matt Rich's I Did It First. Y'all, check it out.
So, you know how we're all sort of obsessed with that overnight success story?
Oh, absolutely. The IPO, the viral hit.
Right. We see the sold out stadium and we think, I want that. But we just completely ignore the years that person was, grinding away with zero recognition.
It's the classic highlights reel versus the actual behind the scenes footage. But today we're looking at a source that really flips that narrative. It's from a creator, Matt Rich's, called Don't Doubt Small Starts.
Okay.
And it basically argues that if you skip that gritty, invisible phase, you actually miss the entire point of the success.
I have to be honest, though. Starting small, it usually just feels like you're failing, doesn't it? When you're putting in all the work and seeing no results, it doesn't feel noble. It just feels pointless.
100%. And that is the emotional barrier most of us hit. But the core argument here is that obscurity, being unknown, having no applause, no stage, it isn't a sign that you're off track.
It feels like it is.
I know, but the video argues it's actually a requirement. It uses this phrase, starting in the dark.
See, that sounds terrifying to me. Usually if I'm in the dark, it just means I'm lost.
And that's the pivot. We run from the dark, but this framework asks you to see it as more of an incubator. It calls that period holy ground.
Ground.
Yeah. The idea is you don't need a head start or perfect conditions to be chosen. You just need the will to walk when nobody else can even see the path.
So it's about...
So I thought this was so dope that I put my song into AI and it was able to create this podcast and it was able to break down my song like that. So it's actually about a 4-minute mini podcast before it gets to the song. And then I played the song after that. So if you want to check it out, you can check it out on my page. This is a new series that I have created. It's called The Meaning Behind This Song. And I'm going to do that for a lot more songs. So I just thought that was so dope. All right. So the next YouTube video I'm going to show y'all a quick preview of is my video for beginners. So if you go on my YouTube channel, you can check this out. I'm going to just play a quick clip.
What exactly is the stock market? It is a digital marketplace connecting the world. It is the central place where businesses find investors and people buy and sell ownership. Think of it like a giant global farmers market. Instead of fruits and vegetables, companies like Apple or Amazon sell pieces of their business. Key takeaways. It's where buyers and sellers meet. Prices change based on supply and demand, and most trading happens instantly on your phone or computer. What is a stock or share?
So that's just a quick preview. I broke it down for beginners. If you don't know nothing about the stock market, just click on my video and I got visuals for you. I got good audio for you to check it out. And then let me show y'all one more. This is another series that I created. It's called The Proof of Investing. Check it out. I'm going to play a quick clip.
Welcome to Proof of Investing Episode 1. We will show the difference between investing $100 a month for 10 years in the technology ETF XLK versus spending the same amount on Starbucks.
This is our website, Portfolio Metrics, where we do back testing to give real data. So it's only a 3-minute video if you want to check it out. But you'll be surprised how much money you would have made just putting $100 a month into XLK over the past 10 years compared to spending that at Starbucks. It's really mind blowing. Yeah. So if you want to check that video out, that is also available on my channel, Matt Riches 510. Excuse me. That is also available on my channel, Matt Riches 510 AI Music. Yeah, let's end the show with some motivation from Instagram, y'all.
It ain't all good, but it ain't all bad either. So be thankful, be happy, smile. We're gonna be productive today.
We will be productive today.
Be happy, y'all gonna be productive today. So just be happy.
Shout out to that young brother right there, man.
Chase excellence, never chase money. Why? Because money has an incredible way of finding excellence. Did you chase excellence and not money? Do you have the intellectual curiosity to learn everything you can about this incredible industry and master it? Become the smartest person in the room. Have you mastered it?
We gotta chase excellence, y'all. That money gonna come.
So look at the stock market and investing. It's like, I'm not saying you have to invest in the stock market, but I can tell you right now, you can't save or work your way to wealth. And people I'm going to save money. Good. How has that gotten you? I'm going to work. Great. That's fine. I have no problem with that. I work in my company too. You cannot solely rely on that. And you can go start your business. I did that too. It took me a very long time to get to where I am. And it's not for everybody, but you can invest in somebody else's business. I'd rather make money off of Amazon continuing to become a multi-trillion-dollar business while I go build my company.
I know that's right.
It don't happen overnight. And there's going to be moments when it's really, really frustrating. And it's going to be moments when it's really, really inspiring and empowering. And if you get too high off the highs and too low off the lows, you're going to take yourself on a ride that's very uncomfortable. I think it's just about being committed to the work, appreciating it, when it's good and not stressing too bad when it's bad, just appreciating the work and staying focused on showing up every day.
All right, that's the end of our show, $1 Trillion Tickers. Appreciate y'all tuning in on YouTube Live and Instagram Live. We'll be back tomorrow morning in the pre-market for the pre-market levels, market open, and breaking news, y'all. Y'all have a wonderful day. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom.